Where are you?
What, honey?
Where'd you go?
I'm over here. Oh, hey! Oh, everybody's here. Hey, welcome to Mr. Patrick's Laboratory. I'm so glad that you can be with me again today. It's 3 p.m. Central Time. And so it's time for us to meet together and we're going to have some science fun. Now, quick question. We don't have any goggle things going on right now, so I'm going to take those off. But I got a quick question for people. Did any one of you get to try the gooey goop with your mom and dad? Did you get to do that? Hey, if you did, down in the comment section below, will you post a picture for me? Or if you got to do it real quick and you don't have the picture, give me your favorite emoji. Go ahead and give that to me so I know how many people got to do that. I did get a few new friends who've already shown me pictures. It's excellent. They're doing a great job. I hope you're having a great time. Moms, dads, kids, maybe you learned a little something. Today, do you know that sound? That is the goggle sound. All right, here's what you need to know. For today, we're going to have our goggles on for part of what we're doing today. Now, you may think, I don't have goggles, Mr. Patrick. That's okay. I want you to come up with your own kind of goggles. So every time that we meet, you can have goggles. Now, you may think, I don't have goggles that you have. I might have to get goggles like this, maybe something like this, or even better, I bet you've got a good imagination and you and your mom or dad can come up with something really cool to make your own goggles so that every time we can have goggles when it's important things. Now, I want to make sure you understand something. With that goggle noise, every single time, it's going to be important to wear them. So next time we meet, that'll be on Friday. Next time we meet, we're going to make sure you're going to give me some pictures of what your goggles look like. So we're going to have a great time. Now, one more time, let's hear that goggle sound. We're not going to hear it. And that's okay. Here's what's going to happen. With the goggles, we're going to have a messy experiment that we're going to do today. So I'm going to show you what we're doing. Today we're going to take something that most of you have in your own house. We're going to use baking soda and vinegar. Now, some people are going to say, yeah, I've already seen that. That's a volcano. We're going to do something very different with it today. So my older kids may say, well, I've seen this experiment, but we're going to do some things that maybe you have not. Now, I'm going to do this on a much larger scale than you would do at home. And I have an old aquarium. It's got a crack in it, so a friend of mine gave it to me. I wonder why they gave it to me. Why? Because science. And so anyway, it's got a crack in the side of it, so it's not really good for having fish, but it's really good for what we're doing today. Parents, kids, make sure you do this one with your parents. It's going to be important. Okay, and you'll see why here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to put my goggles on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some baking soda, and I'm going to use the whole container. Now, you're not going to do that at your house. You're going to do it a little different. I would do it in a bowl so you can see what's happening. This is a really cool one for mom to do or dad to do with the kids. And then when you've done it, whoever comes home later, grandma, somebody comes over, then you can show them how it works. So I'm using a lot more so that you can see what's going on. And again, this is way more than you're going to use at home. But I want you to be able to see what's going on. And so, again, you're not going to use near this much, but I bet that's plenty. I think that's way too much. And so what's going to happen is we're going to have what's called a chemical reaction. Now, a chemical reaction is when two things come together and you can see something happen. Sometimes color changes. Sometimes there's bubbles. Sometimes they give off light. And some of them that are scary, if we don't know they're happening, sometimes they'll catch on fire. So you got to always be careful. That's why, kids, I'm wearing goggles. There's going to be a reaction. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this vinegar and I'm going to start putting vinegar. Now look what's happening. There is a chemical reaction. Can you hear that? It is bubbling like crazy. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to grab a spoon here for a minute and I'm going to be really careful and I'm just going to move stuff around a little bit so that it can keep bubbling. I'm being really, really careful here on purpose. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit more because the reaction's not done. How do I know? Look at it go again. And it is bubbling like crazy. Now what's really cool is you may be thinking, what are those bubbles? Well, I'm going to show you something really, really cool. Many of you have bubbles at home. And these are a little bit, we've played with these before. Okay, but I made something inside. I made this secret gas. And it can be a lot of different gases. Let's see what happens. See if I can get this to work. Sometimes it works. By the way, you remember in the last video, sometimes science doesn't work like we want to. Maybe it'll work this time, maybe not. Let's see what happens. Let's get us some bubbles going. Look at my magic bubbles. Did you see that? Let me try it again. Watch carefully. Want those bubbles to fall inside like that. How is that bubble? Do you see it? Do you see that happening? Look at it. It looks like it's magic. It looks like it's levitating. It looks like I am magic. There's always magic in Mr. Patrick's laboratory. Let's do it one more time so everybody gets to see that. Oops, I missed. Look at them floating. They're just bouncing in place. Isn't that cool? Now what's happening in this is we're making a gas. Oh man, that's working awesome. Look at that. That is awesome. And they're floating on a layer of invisible gas that I made in this reaction. And they're sitting there, and then after a while, they'll pop. Now what's happening is this, I'm making carbon dioxide gas. Now, we know what carbon dioxide gas is, we're just not sure. Let me explain. When I breathe out, that's carbon dioxide gas. That's the same gas I made inside of there. So let's think about this. On my birthday, happy birthday to me, happy birthday. At the end of it, what do? You blow out your candles. Check this out. This one's really cool. Let's see if I can make this one work. Get my stuff out of the way real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to light a candle. Matter of fact, bubbles aren't the only thing that just float on it. Watch what's going to happen. I have a glass, just a regular glass, and I picked clear so you can see what's going on. You can do this easily when you've done this experiment with your bowl. I'm going to slowly, magically scoop up this invisible gas. And I'm doing it really slow, and here's why. Whenever you put carbon dioxide on a fire, it goes out. Check that out. Let me do it one more time. That was so cool. I even like that one. Let's do that one more time. All right, I'm going to do it really, really slow. I'm going to get my hand in there. I'm not touching the liquid. I'm going really slow. I can't even feel the gas. It's invisible. And I'm going to pick it up real slow so I don't slosh it out. Watch the magic. Here it comes. Goodbye, fire. There it goes. That was awesome. You can do this one at home. Now, what was dangerous? Why did I keep my goggles on? Because when it started bubbling, it could bubble up in my eyes. It could really burn my eyes, and I didn't want that to happen. So if you go to do that at home, you can put on your goggles. You can put on your sunglasses, or you have glasses just to make sure it doesn't splash in your face. That gas is still sitting there. How do I know? One more time. Let's see if it does it. I missed. No, there it is. Do you see it? There it is. It's still working, and it'll sit there for a while. What a cool trick to do. I bet you never saw that one before. Again, do you remember the name of the gas? Carbon dioxide. Hey, and by the way, when you blow out your candles, you ever notice you don't go to blow it out? You don't have to do that. Carbon dioxide puts out a fire. Wow, that has lots and lots of uses. Our firemen use those things all the time. They're fire extinguishers. When there's a fire, you can actually put it out. The fire extinguisher puts out the fire. So when you shoot it at the fire, when there's an emergency, it takes the oxygen away and the fire goes out. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, it's great. It's great. All right, let's try something else. Now, we're going to have Mom and Dad. I just need to tell you, this one's messy. So be ready. Here's how this one works. We're going to do something a little bit different. Now, older boys and girls, you need to watch carefully because there's lots of applications here, and you may think, okay, this is for little kids. Actually, I do this one with my high school students on the very first day of school, and I'm going to show you what happens. We're going to do a little tie-dyeing. So what I did was I got a foam plate, just a normal foam plate. You can use a paper plate, you can use a regular plate, doesn't matter. I just use foam plate because when I'm done, I can throw it away. Or wash it off, and I'll show you later. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a cloud of shaving cream, just like that. And then I'm going to get just regular food coloring, okay? And so there's lots of different colors. Kids, here's where you get to pick. You get to choose what colors you want. And so I'm going to pick green. Let me be very helpful, kids. This is very important. This can get on your hands. It can get on your clothes and stain your clothes. So you got to be careful. So you want to do it at arm length, but you don't squeeze. Mom and Dad, you're going to have to help. As it's upside down, gravity will help it. There's a green. There's a green. Okay, so I want a green. And then I also want some, let's do some red. There's some red. And yellow. I want some yellow in my laboratory.
Still the kitchen.
my kitchen laboratory. So here's what we're going to do. You'll notice there's not an experiment really. So I have my goggles off and I'm watching. Now, I just have a tongue depressor and you'll see it's going to stain things. What I did with my kids sometimes at school is all I'm doing is I'm mixing this together. You can use a plastic knife, works great. You're just making it swirl together. Isn't that cool looking? Now here's what's really, really cool. I now have a 3x5 card. That's all I'm using. And so what I'm going to do with that 3x5 card is I'm going to set it down in there and I'm going to just push it down a little bit. Now when I push it down in there, what's going to happen is it's going to stick to my card. Now, if you don't want to stain your fingers like I'm doing, see it on my hand right there? Then you can wear gloves like this. Now, is it going to hurt you? No. So I'm going to let it get on my hands. That's okay. Why? Because when I'm done, I can say, look, I did something today. And so what's going to happen is, after about 3 or 4 seconds, I went a little longer than that, you just take that card out, and look, there's all kinds of stuff on it. So I'm going to take the flat edge of that. In this case, I have a tongue depressor. And again, you can use a plastic knife, and you'll notice that it has tie-dyed the card. It doesn't wipe off. It has tie-dyed the card. Now, for my older kids, paper is made of cellulose. It's plant material. And what happens is when you use this, it absorbs inside and it stains it. Now, we call it tie-dye. Now, look at my fingers real quick. She gets real close. It's on my hands. Don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt you. But I don't want it on my clothes. That's why I got my hands out in front of me. Now, let me show you that procedure one more time. When I had it, I just scraped it off. And then I put it back on the plate so it didn't get everywhere. Great idea to put paper down on the table, foil, something so it doesn't get everywhere. Hey, by the way, look in here. Hey, teenagers, this is a great one to do if you babysit kids. You can do this at their house and they can tie-dye. When they come home, their parents can see, hey, we did some fun stuff today. Now, let's finish this up real quick. Now, what can really happen on here that's really neat is I can take a card and I can take my pen and I can write a note. Hi, friends. Be safe. And then what I can do is I can then take it and I can put it on that, pat it down for a minute, pull it up. That wasn't very long, was it at all? And so I'm going to scrape that off, come off, come off, come off, come off. And look what's happened. Again, it gets a little on my hands, but you can read exactly what it says. Now, all you have to do is set it off on the table, let it dry for a little bit. Now, this one's got a little shaving cream on it, so I'm going to get that off. And I can put it off on a paper towel. I would not put it on a towel. It'll stain a towel, any clothing, and just let it dry. And then you can send it to your friends. What a really cool thing you can do. So I have a job for you. Here's what I want you to do. You probably live around someone that might be a senior adult, an older person that can't get out of the house. Maybe grandma, granddad. Maybe a friend of yours. Hey, maybe you can make a note for your mom and dad. Write your note and you can tie-dye it. And when you can tie-dye it, you can send it to them or give it to them. Maybe your next door neighbor, you can't go see them. Maybe they've been sick or maybe we don't need to be around each other. And that's okay. You can take it, you can put it on the door, knock on the door, and you can leave it where they can see it. And they get a cool note from you that says, I hope you're doing okay. If you need anything, call us. What a cool way. This is just yours. How neat. What a cool art project. One other thing for my little older kids. If you want to, you can do something like this. You can cut squares, different shapes. As a matter of fact, what I did before we started the video is I made more than one plate. And what you can do is you can take little squares like this, and you can take it like this, and you can tie-dye. Look how cool that one already turned out. Okay? Okay, and I can do that. And then I can go over here and I can get one of these. And you can make your own collage. And you can use your collage to do a bunch of different things. Okay, you can decorate your journal. You can do all kinds of cool things. Again, it's whatever you want to do. Let your imagination be exactly what you want it to be. It is cool. It's messy, Mom and Dad, but it's awesome. Now, I've got one more thing before we go. And this is really not an experiment, but something really cool I learned a long time ago. A long time ago, I heard tomorrow, is the first day of spring. Now, I've looked it up online, and basically what I found is there's not a whole lot of science behind it, but it's pretty fun. Cool competition. Now, you've probably not noticed, but I've got something happening over here on the stove. I want you to check out that egg. That egg is standing on its end. Now, you can actually, scientists say that egg can stand on its side most of the time. But what I found is I've done it for years and years, closer to the equinox time, which is tomorrow, it's a little easier to make it stand. It took me about 2 minutes. You got to be patient. But it took me about 2 minutes to get that. Now, I'll prove it's not stuck. Watch. It's not stuck. Matter of fact, I'll try real quick before our video ends and see if I can get it to stand. You have got to be patient. This is a great one for our older kids. Oh, I had it. Matter of fact, you have tie-dye on your fingers. You now have a tie-dyed egg. Sounds like Easter's coming, doesn't it? Okay? It's a lot easier tomorrow. I'm so close, but it's hard to talk and do it. So here's the deal. This is a cool competition you can race with your parents. They're eggs right out of the refrigerator. Let them get to a little bit of room temperature, and then you can race. And you can see who can make them stand. I'll tell you, it works a little bit better tomorrow. It works any day, but a great competition for the older kids. All right? It has been a great day at Mr. Patrick's Laboratory.
Kitchen.
And kitchen. Hope you had a great day. We'll see you on Friday.